Welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Rewind with your lovable host, Max.
Vitamin J today.
And we are reviewing September of 1996. Thank y'all for watching if you have before. Thank you for watching this for August. But now let's go ahead and just jump right in to September. This is not a head-to-head, so this will not go to our counts because Raw is on Friday this week and Nitro is, of course, on Monday. But we'll still review them back and forth, but they won't count to our head-to-head because they didn't go head-to-head. But we'll start with Nitro since that one happened first. To open the show, we have a recap of the NWO misdeeds from the week before of them spray painting the production truck and the other wrestlers. And Larry Zbyszko is hammering the need for a leader on the WCW side, and he thinks Ric Flair should be the leader. What do you think about that?
He'd work against a New World Order.
I wonder if we counted how many weeks in a row he said that. How many weeks would it be? Would it be 83 weeks?
Probably.
All right, but for the first match for Nitro, we have Diamond Dallas Page versus Alex Wright. Not too much to this match.
No, it's not even fun, Alex, right? We're not there yet.
Yeah, no.
So there's this moment during the match, DDP, of course, singles for a Diamond Cutter, as he's wont to do. But as he singles for Diamond Cutter and he tries to do it, Alex Wright catches him with a belly-to-belly. Nice little spot there.
Alex Wright tries in the beginning. He shows some fire early on, bringing it to DDP. He takes him to the outside, but despite Alex Wright's best efforts, Diamond Dallas Page wins with the Diamond Cutter.
I like Alex Wright. I think he's undervalued.
Yeah, it's just at this point he has no character, so there's really nothing to care about.
I was like reading some reviews of his dancing gimmick, and some people hated it. I'm like, what's the hate?
It's certainly better than this version of him. That's nothing. But for this match, DDP is starting to get over with the crowd more and more each week. You can tell that sooner or later he's going to have to be a face. And the Diamond Cutter in particular is super over. Every time he motions for it, the crowd goes nuts. So clearly they have something in this Diamond Dallas Page kid over here. So after this match, we do have a ramp interview with Nick Patrick. Mean Gene starts off by criticizing Nick Patrick's count during the match, which I thought was fine. I didn't see anything that was outrageous there.
Yeah, I didn't see anything amiss with that.
He's just looking to pick on him.
He was trying to stir the pot.
I'm starting to side with Nick Patrick on this.
I mean, it's a witch hunt.
Nick Patrick tells Gene that he is tired of him spreading lies, and he says the things that people are saying about him are a lie, and he says he's going to enforce the law, and if you are in the ring with him, you better follow the rules. Well said, Nick Patrick. Nick Patrick's making some fair points, but you could tell, even at the time, if you were watching, they were trying so hard to make you not think it was Patrick that it was definitely going to be Nick Patrick in the NWO.
Yeah.
But again, Nick Patrick's not a bad promo, so actually pretty good compared to most non-wrestlers. But after that, we do have a lovely commercial advertising WCW apparel, and Buff Bagwell in particular is wearing a atrocious long-sleeve denim shirt, as 90s as you can get. It's pretty ugly. Before our next match, though, we have a backstage interview with Sister Sherry and Colonel Parker. Colonel Parker tells Sherry he has a gift for her. Parker says he has come here to woo Sherry. And he hands her the gifts, and when she opens them, they are a vest and some chaps for horse riding. Sherry is very pleased with her gifts, and Colonel Parker says they are going to have a good time riding his horse, John Henry, and I hope he's talking about a real horse.
I don't know. He's a stallion.
He might call his other... Never mind, we won't go there. But yeah, so that happened.
It's like, oh, you might actually get a clean finish in a Harlem Heat match. We'll find out.
Well, when you find out with this next match, you'll see why they're not needed.
Yeah.
The next match is Greg Valentine and Buddy Valentino versus Harlem Heat, and for some unknown reason, this is for the WCW Tag Team titles. I have never heard of Buddy Valentino or understand why he's getting a tag team title shot.
He doesn't even look like a wrestler. Like, he looks like fat Adrian Adonis.
I couldn't find any information on this dude. Some people kept trying to say he was Buddy Roberts, but he is not Buddy Roberts.
No.
But I looked him up on Cage Match or whatever website has all the matches, whatever it is. This was his third and last match ever. So I don't know. He only had 3 matches in WCW. This was his first one, I believe. Never heard about him. But another tidbit about this match is that this is the debut of WCW referee Mark Curtis. Did you know that?
Did not know. I like Mark Curtis, though.
Yeah, he unfortunately passed away at only 37 years old.
WCW refs are particularly cursed. Randy Anderson, there's another one.
Curtis.
Mark Curtis, both of those guys had cancer. Tommy Young, of course, was particularly cursed. He got not paralyzed, but he got severely hurt.
What's in the water over there? But to the match, not much to this match. Of course, you see the quality of opponents here. Something noteworthy does happen during this match, but it has nothing to do with the match. We do see Ted DiBiase make his way through the crowd to a loud applause, and Ted DiBiase, he takes his seat. But the finish to this match is Booker T hits a nice looking Harlem sidekick, and then eventually Harlem Heat wins after Booker T hits the Harlem Hangover on Buddy Valentino. These were terrible opponents for Harlem Heat, but at least this was a quick match. Not sure where they got Buddy Valentino from. It's a mystery to us all.
Well, I like for them to return Greg Valentine too.
Yeah.
Return to sender. We don't want to.
Doesn't fit 96 Nitro or 96 Wrestling.
I mean, neither did the Rock and Roll Express, and yeah, here we are.
Well, we bury them too, so. But after this match, we do have a ramp interview with Harlem Heat. Mean Gene asks Stevie Ray about the Nasty Boys, and Stevie Ray says he is tired of those two fat, beer-drinking suckers sticking their nose in their business, and he says Harlem Heat are here to defend the titles, and they don't care who it is against because they are here ending careers. Booker T says they finished the Nasty Boys a long time ago, and he doesn't know what gave them the courage to take them on again. And as Booker T is finishing his promo, the Nasty Boys ambush Harlem Heat from behind, and this leads to a small Nasty Boys chant as they hit a double spike power driver to Booker T, and then they turn their attention to Stevie Ray as we go to commercial.
It got nasty.
I'm going to start a count, and every time Nasty Boys have a promo, and count how many times each promo they say it.
Speaking of count, we're now, I want to say 19 or 20 of Glacier Watch.
Yep.
Because Glacier does debut next week on Nitro, but technically it's not even his debut. They debuted Glacier on WCW Pro.
Which is like the third show.
Honestly, when they said it was WCW Pro, I had never even heard of that show at that point. I had to look it up. I was like, oh shit, they had a whole nother show besides Saturday night. It's just so many effing shows. And especially once we get to Sunday Night Heat and Velocity, I'm going to have to watch those bitches too.
Oh, WWE Network ain't got them all.
Nope, got to go on YouTube and watch it in like 360p.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's that. Let's see. Let's go over to Raw. And of course, this is a Friday edition of Raw. But the video opens up with a video hyping the main event of Goldust versus Shawn Michaels for the WWF title. How exciting.
Goldust won the number one contendership by winning a 4-man battle royal.
Because they had to redo it because Ahmed was the number one contender, but he got hurt, so they had to get a new number one contender. So Goldust won that 4-man battle royal. But it kind of doesn't really work. We all know he's not winning because Shawn Michaels is already advertised for Mind Games against Mankind. But the opening match for Raw is Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Psycho Sid. But during this match, we get a recap of Mr. Perfect walking to the ring during Triple H's matches and walking away with Triple H's woman. He's done it at least 3 times now, mostly on Superstars. He has not done it on Raw yet, but guess what's going to happen?
I love how they brought it up. I'm like, what do you mean? I haven't seen him do that like once.
Yeah, like this is news to me. Again, we don't like that a lot of these builds sometimes is on Superstars, but when Raw gets to be 2 hours, then we don't have to worry about it. But we got a while till we get there. But back to the match. Sid hits Triple H with a choke slam, and then we see Mr. Perfect approaching the ringside. And then after Sid wins the match with the powerbomb, Mr. Perfect takes yet another one of Triple H's girls. When Triple H eventually wakes up, he realizes that his date has left him, and he is not too happy about it.
The valets just want to make sure that he really is perfect.
I mean, there's only one way to find out, I suppose.
Only one way.
But this match was fine. It was mainly Sid playing his greatest hits, which is always fun. You know, you get to see him do his best moves. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this was for the first round of the Intercontinental title tournament. So Sid advances to the next round. And then after this, we do get an Ahmed Johnson pre-recorded interview. We see one of the doctors who was working with Ahmed say that Ahmed does have bleeding in his kidney, but it's not as bad as it once was. Ahmed Johnson tells us that the fact he came so close to dying and did not shows him that he is supposed to be here and he is supposed to defend the title and be in the WWF. And then the doctor tells us that Ahmed has a chance to be 100%. And then Ahmed ends it with telling us that he will be back. We'll go back over to Nitro, and we have Dean Malenko versus Chris Jericho. During this match, we do get a ECW chant because both wrestlers happen to be in ECW. Wow. These wrestling fans, even back, how did they know all this stuff without the internet, Jacob?
Crazy. They're well versed. Mike Tenay is also at commentary for this match.
He isn't here for just the luchadors. It happens to be any cruiserweight. But during this match, we see Ted DiBiase get up from his seat and leave. The announcers ask if DiBiase is up to something because he stayed in his seat the whole time last week. So they're like, what is he up to? Well, we'll find out. But the finish of this is Jericho wins this match surprisingly with a pin reversal, and the announcers treat this as a major upset win.
I was surprised. I thought Malenko was going to win when I was watching.
Yeah. So it looks like WCW might see something in this Chris Jericho fella.
This match, a year and a half later, the crowd's going to go nuts for it. But not now. Jericho's not there yet.
But like you said, this was a good match for Nitro. It's the best match so far, obviously. It's not much competition. I did, at the time, think it was very interesting that Malenko lost because he is supposed to be challenging for that Cruiserweight title soon. But
WCW like to do that. They like to have people take losses, like, right before a title shot, and it's like, that doesn't serve any purpose.
No, it does not. But good win for Chris Jericho. But after that match, we do have a video package showcasing Rey Mysterio and Super Calo.
Very interesting. I'm glad you mentioned Calo, because we've been saying his name wrong the whole time. We will find this out in 97. It's Super Calo.
All right, well, next time I'll say it. But for the fourth match for Nitro, we got supremely underrated Brad Armstrong versus the Giant with Jimmy Hart. The Giant does get a good ovation during his entrance.
Oh, yeah, he is over right now.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. And before the Giant destroys Brad Armstrong, we see a limousine approach the arena. We don't see anyone come out of it just yet. We go back to the match, and the crowd is just loving the Giant hitting all of his power moves on Armstrong. The Giant toys with Armstrong for a little bit as the announcers talk about how the Giant has been acting a little different lately because he normally would have ended this match, and now he's just playing with his food.
I like the finish of this match a lot. So basically, Brad Armstrong, the only offense Brad Armstrong really gets, hits a missile drop kick from the top rope and stuns him. And Brad Armstrong like sprints at him, charging him, and the way Giant catches him by the throat and then picks him up for the choke slam, it's just beautiful. I liked it how they did in WCW of like, if he gets his hand around your throat, tough shit, you gotta look. Brad Armstrong, of course, sells the choke slam beautifully. This guy's nothing but professional. The way he sells it when he lands, he's just like sprawled out. It's perfect. Rest in peace, you legend.
You magnificent bastard.
Magnificent bastard. You're easily the best of your brothers, wrestling-wise. So Giant gets the win.
And then he tells the camera afterwards that nobody gets up in a chokeslam, which at this point was a fact.
Yeah.
I'll go over to Raw before we get into that Nitro or NWO video. We'll go back to Raw.
No, not Steve Austin Mero.
Yeah. Our second match is going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mark Mero with Sable. This is the first round of the Intercontinental Tournament. What number match up is this?
This is a fourth matchup.
Fourth matchup in how long of a span?
Since May 20th. So a match per month, which is like in wrestling, that's just too much.
It's a lot. But during Stone Cold's entrance, Jim Ross mentions he has a big announcement later on tonight. Oh boy, we get to see what that is. Pillman is here for commentary as well, and he also says he has a big surprise. Everyone has a lot of surprises.
Everybody is just a joyous occasion.
And he says that he is going to be interviewing Bret Hart at the next In Your House pay-per-view. And he also drops the bombshell that there has been a reconciliation between Owen and Bret Hart. Oh, that's great. You love to see a family reunited. But for this match, though, Stone Cold is not wearing wrist tape, which looked a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know what deal is with that.
Yeah, Stone Cold's in this experimental phase with the character.
Yeah, remember his like first logo? Like
yeah, the trunks with the logo on the back. Nah, that's not it. He experimented with his facial hair. Remember, he had the mustache and goatee. Didn't connect it, though.
Yeah.
So we're working on the wrist tape thing. I think this was the only time he did it, but it looked off. Yeah, we've seen this match enough times. Finish here is Stone Cold throws Mark Mero out of the ring, and as Mero goes back in the ring, Stone Cold throws the ref into Mero, and the ref calls a DQ.
After the DQ, Austin immediately just lands a stunner on Mero. I did get a kick out of that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Mark Mero advances in the Intercontinental Tournament. This was a fair match. The ending was pretty hot. As you mentioned, we have seen these two face each other so many times already, and we're going to see them face some more. But after this match, we do have an in-ring interview with Mark Henry. Jerry King Lawler is conducting this interview. He mocks Henry as he makes his way to the ring, saying Jake Roberts and the Olympics has something in common. They both got bombed. That's pretty dark there, King. King then also tells Henry that he hasn't even had one match yet, and Henry has already made a lot of people mad. King says that Henry has made him mad, and he made Jake mad at SummerSlam because Henry stopped King from pouring more booze into Jake's mouth. We always got to get more alcoholic jokes in here.
Well, he's one of the best at like just riling up a crowd.
He's one of the best at cheap heat.
Yeah.
But King continues on. He asks if Mark Henry is crazy or something because the previous week he tried to pick a fight with Vader, and Mark Henry tells King that he doesn't like Jerry King Lawler or Vader. Then King kind of goes Mark Henry to challenging Vader to a wrestling match, but Mark Henry says everyone knows he hasn't had a match yet and he is not ready yet. And King then tells Mark Henry he should have won a medal for being a coward.
Not even just a medal, a gold medal.
A gold medal, sorry. That angers Mark Henry, so he grabs King and he says if he wants to wrestle, then it's on. Mark Henry tells King he is going to get a gold medal butt whooping. Mark Henry, as he's wanted to do, he is sweating profusely during this.
Oh, absolutely. He is sweating buckets.
But I thought it was a good promo segment between the both of them to get the crowd to want to see Mark Henry wrestle. Now, we know the match isn't going to be any good, but King is a good opponent to introduce Henry to the audience because King is easy to hate and King can take all the losses in the world. It's not going to hurt him. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, him losing kind of fits the character better than winning, you know. But we will go back to Nitro, and we have one of this following announcement has been paid for by the NWO videos. Hogan says they are the champions of the world, and now the entire WCW will fall to their feet. Hogan brags about beating both the Giant and Ric Flair recently, and he left both of them crying. Hogan says the NWO would take care of business at War Games, and he talks about how the WCW wrestlers have bonded together recently, and he says that touched him. But then he says that
it made me cry a little bit, but it was real weak. Times have changed.
And the NWO will destroy them.
He says Sting will be stung. Get used to that. He's going to say that a lot. He says Sting will be stung. Luger will be hung. Flair won't be there, and Arn won't be Arn anymore.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan nailed this one. I thought it was great doing this one.
Yeah, he was good. He was good in this one.
And he ends this one by unleashing a devious cackle that you have to hear.
Yeah.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
I wonder how many takes it took to do that.
Yeah, good work, Hogan. Good work.
Yeah, this is A+ stuff from Hulk Hogan. He has really rebounded since that stupid little man promo. Hogan seemed to be really cool here. For the next match, we have Ron Studd versus Macho Man.
As is WCW want to do at this time, if you're about to face the Giant, you're going to wrestle Ron Studd right before.
Yeah, it didn't work out for the previous combatant that did this, Chris Benoit. No. He did beat Ron Studd, but he lost awful quick to the Giant.
Yeah, very quick. Pretty much immediately.
We'll see if Macho Man fares better here in a few weeks. But during this match, we see the NWO leave the limousine, and they chase the cameraman away, and they tell the other man, who's going to be the fifth man, to stay in the limo. And then we go back to the match, and we see Macho Man impressively scoop slamming Ron Studd, and he wins the match with a flying elbow drop. But yeah, short match. Ron Studd really isn't the best big man. Maybe they should put Roadblock in this spot. See how you can do.
Oh, man. Roadblock. Give me some Jerry Flynn. I like their drivers.
But after this match, we do have an in-ring interview with Macho Man. Macho Man says he wishes Halloween Havoc was tonight because he guarantees everyone that he will beat up Hollywood Hogan and take away everything that Hogan wants because that makes him happy. Macho Man says he is living on the edge, and anyone that is not living on the edge is taking up too much room. Macho Man then tells the Giant that he broke his promise, and the Giant couldn't handle the pressure, and the bottom line is that the Macho Man is taking over right now, and he likes the pressure on him as he operates better that way. Pretty good promo for Macho Man. The crowd was really into it. You believe every word that he's saying. You can believe that he wants to beat Hulk Hogan's ass. Okay, let's go back over to Raw, where we have a third match. Mankind with Paul Bearer versus Alex Porto, or also known as The Pug. Jim Ross does tell us about his big surprise announcement. He says that Razor Ramon and Diesel are making their way back to the WWF.
Are you serious?
But how is this possible? JR does not elaborate any further.
Tune in next week.
I hope it's good.
I mean, Diesel and Razor are coming back. That's big news.
Before the match, you saw the names of the guys in the ring. You know it's a squash match. Mankind wins with the mandible claw.
Did you catch, though, during this match, Jim Ross mentions Kurt Angle on commentary?
Oh, no, I must have skipped that.
Yesterday, in the WWF offices, Olympic gold medal winner Kurt Angle from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Meeting with officials, which he did. He met with officials in '96.
But yeah, only noteworthy thing here is about the Razor Ramon and Diesel coming back. If you know the story, you know it's fake Razor, fake Diesel, and it's not good. But after this, we do get a Bob Backlund promo. He is in the ring, and he says he's going to bring a man. He said he wants to bring out a man who he has a tremendous amount of abomination for. And he says, look it up if you don't understand.
Which, to be fair, you could say that word now, and a lot of people be like, what?
But the man who Bob Backlund has a lot of abomination for is the Iron Sheik.
Sheiky baby, rest in peace.
The crowd boos him when he comes out. Sheik does get a promo. I don't really understand what he says, and he gets cut off as we go to commercial.
Vince McMahon clearly was like, okay, this promo is absolute dog shit because, unfortunately, Sheik, he can ramble. So they just cut the commercial.
So for Raw, we're about to go to the main event, but we got some more of Nitro to take care of first. The sixth match for Nitro is Sting and Lex Luger versus the Steiner Brothers. I'm telling you, That could be a main event right there.
Oh, that could be a freaking main event of a pay-per-view.
Before the match, we go backstage and we see the Four Horsemen run to the limo NWO came out of, and they open the doors and no one is there, not even the fifth man.
We about to beat that ass. We all been doing those. The NWO said that he's going to be in this car, fifth man.
But no one was there, so they go back inside the arena as we go to commercial. After commercial, we see Luger get shoved into Nick Patrick, and Nick Patrick immediately calls for the bell, which upsets both the crowd and the competitors, and Max at home because he wanted to watch that match.
I know. I was like, God damn it, dude.
But I did love how Nick Patrick was like, no, sir, that's a...
His face when he called for that DQ is hilarious. Nick Patrick's facial reactions are top notch.
But Sting shouts at Nick Patrick, telling him, you can't DQ a man for that. All the wrestlers sold their frustration well, and Sting and Lex Luger, they chased Nick Patrick all the way to the back. But, of course, this wasn't really a match. The match never really got started. This is just another angle to cast more doubts onto Nick Patrick, which, in this case, I was kind of disappointed because, as we said earlier, this would have been a fantastic match.
I think they knew it was a fantastic match. That's why I didn't want to give it to us.
Yeah, there are 0 universes where this is not a good match. But now we're on to the main events on both shows. Let's go over to Raw, where we have Goldust with Marlena versus Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario, and this is for the WWF title. But before the match, we do have an Undertaker pre-recorded video. He tells Goldust that his time is up, and not even the pack of jackals he travels with can save him now, and the end is at hand, and he will rest in peace. Short and sweet from Undertaker. A man of few words. Shawn is overly flamboyant to start this match, and the WWF actually mentions Shawn being in Playgirl, and they actually show some of his photo shoot. Thankfully, it's the PG stuff. And at one point during this match, JR tells us that he has received word that Mankind is watching this match, and he has not left the arena for the night. We continue the match for a little bit, and then we go backstage again, where we see Mankind in the boiler room saying he has a surprise for Shawn as he laughs maniacally. And that doesn't sound too good for Shawn.
Sure don't.
But we return to the match, and we see Goldust going for the curtain call, but Shawn reverses it, and he runs to the turnbuckle, and then he hits his moonsault off the turnbuckle for the win, the same finish he did on Vader at SummerSlam. I guess he was trying to make that one of his finishers, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, well, it's like, I liked it in the Vader match because it's, you know, snatching victory from the jaws of the feet, but did you really need to do it against Goldust? Why couldn't Goldust just take Sweet Chin Music?
Mankind said he has a surprise for Shawn, so wouldn't you know it, right after the match, Mankind sprints towards the ring, and Goldust and Mankind go to jump on Shawn Michaels, but Shawn sees it coming, and he gets out of dodge as Shawn and Mankind kind of stare at each other as Raw ends. So I guess Mankind needs to do a better job of his surprises, because that wasn't very good. But yeah, this was a so-so match where the finish was never in doubt, because again, we know that Shawn Michaels is facing Mankind in a couple weeks for the title, so that kind of made this pointless in a way. But other than that, for Raw as a whole, I wouldn't say there's anything necessarily bad about this Raw, but there's nothing that made it good either.
Yeah, it was filler. It was filler.
This could be a 10 out of 10 compared to next week's Raw, but the only thing interesting right now is the Intercontinental Tournament, and it looks like we're shaping up to have some good matchups here. But all right, let's go to the main event for Nitro, and it is the Four Horsemen with Woman and Miss Elizabeth and Deborah versus
Dungeon and Doom members for this one, and Big Bubba, Kevin Sullivan, Mangum Barbarian.
I don't know about you, Jacob. When the Four Horsemen make their entrance, I thought they looked like absolute stars.
Well, yeah, they were cooking with the Four Horsemen at this time. It's just a damn shame Flair got hurt.
He got hurt at a terrible time because this iteration was working, like you said, and then when Flair got hurt, it really went off the rails, and it kind of was repetitive for a while.
It's like you can't do the Four Horsemen without, or at least you can't do it well without Ric Flair. To be honest.
Now, Jacob, can you go ahead and explain to us what happened with Mongo in the beginning of this match?
So there's at one point where he gets kicked to the gut, and Sullivan like Irish whips him, and Mongo just eats shit. So Sullivan picks him up and then tries to like whip him into a clothesline, which he does. But the way Mongo falls, it's just he doesn't even know how to take that bump. So it's a mess. And so he's very jittery, very timid. He's very tense with his movements. It is an absolute mess. There's another spot later where he runs to the turnbuckle acting as if he's going to go to the very top rope, but then he's like, oh crap, no, maybe I shouldn't. And then he jumps, I'm guessing tried to do like a double stomp on Sullivan, and Sullivan rolls out the way, and just the way Mongo lands, I'm shocked he didn't blow out his knees.
Yeah, I've seen people blow out their knees for less, so...
Yeah, Mongo definitely gets better. This was the absolute worst we have seen Mongo so far.
Well, he messed up about 5 consecutive spots.
It was, yeah, like they had to tag, get him out of here.
And on the third or fourth mishap, I could hear some fans in the crowd start chanting Mongo sucks, which in this particular case he does.
If I was a kid watching, I would have thought he sucked too. He has some passable matches. They do get passable.
But during this match, we cut backstage and we see Sting and Luger chasing Nick Patrick out of the building. And it appears that Nick Patrick is going to go into the NWO limo. So we got him. But no, he doesn't. We see Ted DiBiase is in the limo. Before the NWO limo can speed away, Sting is a madman. He grabs a cinder block and he throws it through the limo's window as it speeds away. He's not even done there. He sees a cop over there near his car. He shoves the damn cop out the way and he steals the cop car and he gives chase to the NWO limo.
That was hilarious. I'm like, I was like, really?
Sting in full wrestling gear steals a cop car. Loved it.
Yeah, fantastic.
But we go back to the match and we see Ric Flair low blow Ming, and then Kevin Sullivan comes in only to catch a low blow, and then Barbarian comes in the ring and gets another low blow. I don't really like the spamming low blows like that.
No, I don't like it. And the Dungeon of Doom did this crap all the time. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't like it. It just really exposes the business, I think. It really just tells you, hey, this is fake, fake, fake. So I don't like that. But I did laugh that Big Bubba sees the three of them get low blowed, and Big Bubba decides not to get in the ring, which is a good call.
Yeah, smart call.
After that, we again cut backstage, and we see the cop that Sting stole the cop car from talking to other police with his walkie-talkie. Maybe Sting is going to get arrested. We'll see. I mean, that is a crime. You can't do that.
Grand Theft Auto at the least.
And if you play Grand Theft Auto, you steal a cop car. That's automatically, what, 1 or 2 stars?
Yes, I think it's at least 2.
So, yeah, can't be doing that, Stinger. But later on in this match, we do get a good-looking powerbomb from Barbarian to Benoit. I mean, I shouldn't have had to say good powerbomb. I should just say powerbomb. You already know it's good when Barbarian's doing it. But eventually, all the men start brawling, and chaos ensues as Ric Flair gets Kevin Sullivan in the figure 4 for the win with a pin. I did not know Ric Flair pinned so many people with the figure 4 until I started watching these.
Yeah, because this is Eddie Guerrero was at least 3 times, and then now this is the 4th.
But afterwards, we see Benoit and Woman arguing, and this must involve Kevin Sullivan. But before we find out really what it is, we see the Outsiders come in, and they start attacking Ric Flair, and the NWO starts beating up all the men in the ring. Fans start throwing all sorts of trash into the ring as the Giant comes out to save the day. The Giant gets into the ring to help the WCW turn back the tide. But wait, hold on, what's this? He grabs Ming by the throat, and he choke slams him, and then he does the same to Barbarian. Jagger, don't tell me.
Those are his friends.
Don't tell me. Is this the 5th man?
This might be.
Hogan spray paints NWO on the wrestler's back as Kevin Nash and Giant hug. So yes, the Giant is the 5th man. What a get for the NWO.
I was like questioning it because the Giant was so over as a face at this point, and then now they immediately turned him heel. I feel like they shouldn't have done it.
But I agree with you. When it happened, I was like, over already? I was like, the Giant is over as the babyface right now. Wasn't that what y'all were trying to do? But they just really wanted to hammer in that the NWO is just too powerful. You cannot beat it. Macho Man did come out. Hogan hit 3 atomic lead drops on Macho Man, and they spray NWO on his stomach, and then they turn him over and spray paint a yellow stripe up his back. If you know what that means, you know that the NWO are bastards for that. You just don't call someone yellow like that.
No, definitely don't spray paint on him. After the Giant turns, they go up to the announce table so they can cut a promo. Giant's trying to go into this long explanation as to why he joined the NWO, and I guess time's running out, so Hogan just cuts him off. But Giant does get part of his explanation now. He says he got a call from DiBiase about business, and Hogan and him spit on the Nitro logo.
Yep, but they do get a short explanation that the Giant turned on the WCW for money, essentially. And the WCW wrestlers walk up to the NWO during this, and the show ends in a brawl. We run out of time. We always do when there's a brawl at the end. But this was a hot ending to the show. They were really good at building heat with the NWO, but like you said, I do not know if it was the right time to turn to Giant.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
But overall, this show had a great crowd. But yep, made the NWO look unstoppable. Best match of the night would be Jericho Malenko if I had to pick one.
Yeah, that's best match of the night.
But the NWO stuff was great. This is some peak NWO stuff here. But for winner this week, it is obvious. It's Nitro.
Yeah, we can't count it officially because, like we said, it's on the different dates. But if these were head-to-head, Nitro would be the winner.
Yes. Now, we know this won't head-to-head ratings, but what were the ratings for these shows?
Oh, I don't know. I can't find Raw. But Nitro got 4.3. Yeah, damn. Fair. But 4.3, good God.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So you're saying Nitro's hot right now is what you're saying?
Nitro is hot.